Handmade Podcast. I'm Tara.
And I'm Misty.
And this is episode 17. We're going to talk about what we're working on and the adventures we've had and some other stuff, I guess. So, so we haven't recorded in like 4 weeks. Have you done any?
Sorry, guys.
Life has been all over the place.
Yes.
Have you had any adventures in stashing?
I haven't.
No?
I haven't bought a thing besides fabric, which I'll show you guys in a few minutes. So
Excellent. It's some really great fabric too. So I got from Eat Sleep Knit, which is the whole reason I ordered from them, is I realized, so in the last episode I was trying to figure out what I could take with me on my trip, and the sweater I really wanted to finish, the blue sand sweater, which I'll talk about more, is just too big to fit in my carry-on. My carry-on is just my purse, and I could not make it and everything else jam in there. So I needed a new project, and even though I have a pair of socks that are small and the turnstile cowl, which is small, but it's striped, so it takes 2 balls of yarn, and both of the balls of yarn are big, I figured I needed a new project.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought I was going to start the curls because I have the yarn for it at home and everything, and I spent the time the night before my trip winding the yarn. And then I read the pattern and I just thought, I don't think I can focus on this. Because so much of my time on my trip was like talking to people that I wanted something I could just like do without looking at. And that curls, like to get it started, you have to pay attention.
I had to pay attention on that one.
And so, even though I made you decide on what yarn I should use, and I spent all of the time winding it, so it's all ready to go when I'm ready for it, I was like, no, I have to get something else. And this is actually, so this is maybe 2 days before the trip, I decide I maybe need something else. So, I got the pattern a couple episodes ago at Yarn House for Boxy. So I ordered the yarn for it.
Oh,
and I quizzed Twitter to ask and no. So what I bought was from Eat Sleep Knit, Madeline Tosh Merino DK in Pop Rocks. Is this not like such a Tara color? It's so bright and pretty. And this is actually the color that's in my color affection. Ooh, we got very close.
We're going to match.
Especially in this lighting that looks like, I think
yours is a little bit brighter.
Yeah. We totally, all of our stuff we own are pink or blue anyhow.
Pink or blue, teal, yeah.
So I got, I think it's 4 skeins of the Malintosh, and I bought it from Eat Sleep Knit because I like opened 5 different yarn shops, like, online yarn shops, and I read all of their shipping policies because I was going to leave in 2 days and I wanted the yarn to arrive before I left. I also went to all the yarn store websites that were in the towns I was visiting to see if they carried Malintosh, and none of them did. And I knew I wanted to knit it in this yarn. So it's a single.
I've never.
And this is boxy, so it's all, it needs to be really drapey.
Mm-hmm.
And I knit with it, I don't know. There's something else I knit with it in this, and I knew I liked it, and I knew that it actually wears pretty well for a single. And this is just the yarn I wanted and the color I wanted. So Eat Sleep Knit is in Georgia. And they promised to ship it, I think, by the next day. And they do priority shipping, like, automatically. And all the other places I looked at were like, we'll ship it in a week. Or we'll ship it within 3 days. I was like, that won't work. And also, you need to be close to me. Like, a couple of the places that said, like, we'll ship it the next day. But it'll take 5 to 7 days. And they were in California. So I was like, no, I needed to arrive. So they're in Georgia. And it was great. They shipped it the next day. They sent me a note, that it was shipped and the tracking number. And it arrived. I left on like midday Wednesday and it arrived Wednesday morning.
Oh my gosh, I'd have been holding my breath.
Yeah. So I have like everything's a mess. My suitcase, my everything. I sit down, I wind the yarn right then. And I don't have I think I loaned my mom my ball winder, so I just had to wind it by hand. But that's my adventures in stashing. 4 skeins of Malintosh Pop Rocks. I love it. And that goes right into, this is one of my works in progress. So I'll just show you now since I'm showing you. This is how much I got done on like multiple plane trips, and sitting at Craftcation, the lobby overlooked the ocean. So this hotel is the hotel that the whole conference.
The pictures.
It was so amazing.
It was beautiful.
So I carried this in my Misty Dot bag in my purse. It's been in my purse nonstop for the last month, and I knit on it in the car, on the planes, talking to people. It was the perfect I'm talking to you but I'm knitting kind of project. However, then I came back and I picked up my blue sand cardigan, so I haven't made any more progress on it. And the whole week I was with my brother, like, there was no knitting. I don't know why. I think we were just like in situations, like we ate out at restaurants every night and it felt weird to bring out my knitting. They didn't feel like knitting friendly people, so I didn't get much progress then. But there are something like 400 stitches on here. So this is actually tons of progress.
Yeah, that's all.
But I have 17 inches to go of this before anything else happens. So this will be my card knitting for probably the next 10 years.
Is it knit in the round or is it flat?
It is knit in the round. So you can knit it in 2 flat pieces, but I'd much rather knit it around.
Oh, yeah.
And it's totally enjoyable. And I actually feel like this is a lot of progress for the amount of time that I've had to spend on it. And it was very enjoyable progress. So I'm happy to keep knitting it. But how about you? What are you working on?
I am working on a custom fit featherweight.
Yay!
And this is yarn I dyed, and I dyed a big bunch of and did
Oh
a giant
goodness.
cake. Look
That
at
is
this.
giant.
It's giant.
Luckily,
yeah.
you have a ball winder, so you didn't
I have a
wind
ball
that all
winder,
by hand.
and my ball winder is usually pretty crappy, but I took it slow.
The size of your head.
I took it slow, and it did really good with it, so I was really pleased that I didn't have to, like, wind.
So what base is this? This is your Misty Dot.
No, this is a base that I bought on a cone from Miss Babs at SAF last year, and it was undyed. I dyed it, and you can see this is my progress. This is the back piece. It has 1x1 ribbing.
See, I knit featherweight in the round too. So
where I did the custom featherweight, their philosophy recommendation is that you do it in pieces so it's more structured, and I'm just going along with what they say. So but let me tell you, do the swatch. I did one and ripped it out, and I don't know if it was because I didn't wash it first or why my reason was for ripping it out, but I couldn't find where I wrote down what my stuff was.
Oh.
And so I thought that I had it in the Make Wear Love site, and I didn't. I couldn't find it there either. So I had to redo the swatch. It was at night. I was in a hurry. I wanted to start it. And so I rushed through the swatch, and I had it. It was pretty wide, but I only did it probably about that big.
Oh, no.
And so I did it in 2 different size needles, just enough to get measurement. So it wasn't a big enough swatch, really. And I got the measurements, but then when I actually went to start a knit, my gauge was just a little bit more relaxed, and I could probably tell where, I'm rushing through it and hurry up, and I held the tension tighter. And so when I actually started the sweater, my gauge was more relaxed. Well, by that time, I'd paid $12.50 for the pattern.
Oh, no.
Because, the custom pattern is more.
Right.
And you can't go back and change your swatch or change your thing. I couldn't find it anyway. So be aware when you buy those custom ones that once you've got a swatch in, or you can't change your mind about the yarn. You better say, okay, this is the yarn I'm making this out of. You knit, what the thing is, you knit if you've never heard of the custom way of doing things, the Make Wear Love, who is that by?
Amy
Herzog. Amy Herzog. And what you do is you take the yarn that you've decided you want to make your sweater out of, and you knit a swatch until you like the fabric that it gives you. So I knit it in 2 different size needles. I decided I like this on a size 5.
I love it.
I wanted it to be something summery and lightweight. I wanted it to be able to wear it, with anything.
And it's a fingering weight yarn.
It's fingering weight yarn, and so it's knit on size 5. And you can kind of see it's got, it's going to be a summer weight thing. You can kind of almost see through it. But not quite. I mean, I think it's going to be dense enough to where, you can't see what color top I've got on with that. It's not going to make a difference in that. But I wanted it to be airy. And so I decided I like the 5s on it. And then you measure the stitches. Let's see. No. You take the swatch, and then and it'll give you videos on how to do this. But you
watch out for your mic.
I'm sorry. So you take the swatch, and you sew like just a running stitch in a square. And then you count the stitches in the square, then you measure, and you enter that number in that site, and it comes up with their stitches per 4 inches. But it does. You don't have to make sure it's 4 inches. You just do it, and then put it in there.
Sense.
So, So yeah, make sure that if you ever do this, that you like your swatch, that you're sure about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because once you pay for that pattern, that's what you.
So don't rush through it late at night.
Late at night
when you're
and be in a hurry.
frustrated.
But I measured and did numbers and thought a little bit about it, and I don't think that I'm off enough to change anything.
So how much are you off by?
Like, I forget now, but
okay.
I thought a lot about it. It wasn't even a full stitch, or something like that.
Well, and the pattern is so flowy.
It is. You could pick between a tight fit, an average fit, or a loose fit. I picked average, so even if it's a little more loose, it's not going to be that bad. And I picked 3/4 length sleeves, I think, and I picked a mid hip length.
And we will link to this. So the software actually gives you the pattern based on your thing, and we'll link to it in the show notes at handmadepodcast.com.
Yeah. So it was, so far, I really like this. It's been a good experience. I like that I could probably figure out where to do increases and stuff, but I've only made, I guess you could say 4, but that one doesn't count. So 3 really cardigans before, and I've just not experienced enough to know where to feel comfortable about where to make the increases and decreases. Maybe if I did more sweaters that had increases and decreases like that, I would feel more comfortable at doing them. But I'm not comfortable to the point where I can say, oh yeah, I can just put this in here and that'll be the right spot.
Right.
I just don't know that yet, and I don't want to. I'm not a pattern writer. I don't want to be a pattern writer, and I don't want to fool with thinking about it.
Yeah.
So if that's you, then this is I really recommend it. It's a good thing. You take a lot of measurements, and it spits out where you should do your increases and decreases, and
awesome.
So far, I like it. I'm hoping that the end result will be, really good. I have high hopes.
I want to make one of those. Of course, I've started my thing for fingering white sweaters means that everything new I want to try is like 10 years away. But definitely on my list is to have the thing generate a pattern for me. I think that would be awesome.
Liked it.
And I love that yarn. It's awesome. So
yeah, this has, I didn't explain this, it's superwash merino, and it has, I want to say tencel in it.
Yeah, it seems a little shiny.
So it has, I could never discern the shiny part of it until I was really dyeing it and I kind of saw it. So it's very, very, very subtle.
But it's also it almost feels like slick.
Yeah, it's a little slicker than
like a total wool yarn would be.
And so I'm knitting this continental, and I know that my stitches aren't as even as they were when I was knitting English, but I'm determined not to knit English anymore. So it's just I'm just gonna have to
meaning that you knit
hope
with
it
your
comes
left
out
hand.
and I'm knitting with my holding the yarn in my left hand. So I'm just gonna have to hope it comes out in blocking because I'm not switching back.
So I knit a couple rounds of my boxy like that, like on the plane, because I felt like I was just going really slow throwing, and it just like when you have that many stitches, I was like, this is a perfect time. Except for my stitches were so wonky when I knit with my left hand that I decided this is just a big field of stocking net, so I don't think I want. It's almost like it's the perfect project to try with, because if I did all of boxy with my left hand, I would officially be a left-handed knitter. That's like thousands of stitches. But I don't know that it's faster, and I don't know.
It won't be faster at first just because you're so used to doing.
So how do you tension the yarn? That's my question. Because when I knit with so I'll show you. When I knit with my right hand, I tension it like this. Like it's around my pinky, and then I throw it, and with each throw, I give it a little, it comes, right? But with my left hand, if I do it around the pinky, it just gets stuck there. It doesn't flow.
I did it 2 different ways. Like when I was knitting something else a while back, I wrapped it like 2 or 3 times because I really wanted that. For whatever reason, I felt like I needed that.
Yes.
With this, I want to be relaxed. So I wrap it once around my pinky finger, and it comes up. I don't know if you guys can really see this.
Well, like show your hand the other way.
Okay, so I wrap it once around my pinky finger. It comes up through my fingers and across my index finger, and this is how I hold my yarn. And so this is, and so this is more relaxed and more, it comes through my hands easier, but it's still enough tension to make me happy with this one. But with whatever yarn I was using before, I was wrapping it 2 or 3 times and really holding on better.
So tell me where you pull the yarn from the ball. Like where, so my pinky does it on this, when I knit with my right hand. When I do it on my left hand, I just like get stopped.
I don't, even though this is coming out of the ball fairly easy, I always pull some out. I don't keep, for whatever reason, I don't, I want the tension to be really relaxed on this for some reason, and so I have not let it pull from the ball, because that's going to give added tension, and it's going to change eventually when you know, right now it's going to have more tension because it's a bigger ball. When I get halfway through this, there's going to be no tension whatsoever, because it's going to really...
Well, and it's going to start collapsing in on itself.
It's going to collapse in on itself, and it's just going to come. I'm not going to have to pull in it. So it's going to change your tension if you let yourself pull from the ball and not pull any out.
But see, I've always done that, but with my pinky. So like my finger is keeping the tension the same, and then my pinky gives a little tug and pulls a little extra.
Oh, well, you could do that.
You see what I'm saying? But it doesn't work on my left hand. Can't do that. Like my left hand isn't, I don't know, something about it gets stuck. So what I found that I keep doing with my left hand is like I have too much yarn there, right? Like, and I can't, I don't know. So I keep like wrapping it extra times, and then, so one stitch will be tight and then one stitch will be loose, because I can't seem to get the tension right within my hand. Like the yarn that's right there waiting.
Yeah.
Either it's too loose or too tight. I don't know if that makes sense.
It
does. See how like far away? So that's what you're doing. You're moving your finger like farther and closer.
No, I don't really, I move it when I do the stitch, but I don't really move it as far as to tension it. My tensioning is just where it's wrapped around my pinky finger, and sometimes I've had to wrap it more than once to get the tension right. I've fought with that too. But for whatever reason, with this yarn, I've not needed to do that, and it's really flowed easily.
I think what I'm seeing, and hold your hands up closer so they can see, is like the yarn, so the stitch and your finger are further apart. Then when I was knitting like that, I was feeling like it was all out of my control. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
With my finger that far away.
But I had to, it's something you have to get used to, but I wrapped it.
Like how close I'm holding mine?
Yeah.
That feels right, but really awkward, or like really slow.
This is what my middle finger being on those stitches is what helped me with that. So I keep my middle finger touching the upcoming stitches, and it's almost a resting place for that yarn to grab it.
Because that's the other thing. So when my finger is far apart, the yarn then goes in front of the needle as opposed to behind. And like, I've been knitting for years. It's not like I don't know what it's supposed to do. It's just like getting my fingers to do that. So that's what keeps happening, is the yarn keeps floating either in between or to the front, with in between each and every stitch. But what you said about your middle finger, I gotta try that.
The middle finger, and don't let your stitches come up as far on the point of your needle. Because see, I'm back here.
It went in the front again. Stop it.
It's the index finger.
Right. Okay. Okay, so that was just
your
really geeky
Sorry.
knitting stuff. No,
I
think
can talk about that stuff. I hope you guys are the same. I love to see how other people are knitting or holding their yarn, especially when I was, trying to decide if I wanted to make the effort to switch.
Yeah.
And it's made a huge difference. I can really tell that I knit faster, especially the knit stitch. I feel like I purl faster too, but yeah, I could really, go faster.
Awesome. Well, and you do knit super fast. Like, you get things done. I don't know if it's a combination of actually knitting faster or like amount of time you're like committing to it, because that's what I find is like, if I'm not knitting something I love, I'll be watching TV with Jay knitting, and I'll just like put it down, and I'll realize like 10 minutes have passed and I'm not knitting. Where when I first started knitting, no minutes would ever pass anywhere.
I've been doing that lately. I've not been like, I don't know, just had the drive to knit as much lately.
Yeah.
It's like I still want things and I want to get things done, but I don't know. Maybe I need to go yarn shopping or something.
That's always the answer.
It's always the answer. But it's like, I feel like my dyeing has kind of hindered my yarn shopping, and not that I was a big shopper before, but I always see stuff. I could just dye that, or right. And maybe I just need to take some of the yarn that I really like that I've dyed, and maybe, you know, I've listed it in the shop, but maybe I need to copy that and make myself a skein or something.
Mm-hmm. I think the other thing is, like, whatever project you're working on, like, you finish projects super fast because you're in love with the project. And that's how, for a long time, I don't know, a couple years I did a lot of lace shawls, because those were the things that would, like, I want to do another repeat. I want to do another repeat. So I wouldn't put it down. And, but those take, like, being at home with your chart.
Yeah.
Totally uninterrupted time. And so these fingering weight sweaters, I think there's something about, like, it's just, almost all of them are so much stocking knit. I think
that's why I've got so much done on this. I've been such a lazy knitter lately that I don't want anything that I have to sit down and think about and focus on. And so I think that's why I've not really did much, because those are the projects you want to do. You know, you want that item. You just don't want to sit down and work on it to get that item. I don't lately.
Like the cabled sweater I was working on that I put aside because it's way too hot outside. But cozy. The thing about that one is, yes, I have to be totally dedicated and only doing that and have my chart open. But watching a repeat finish, like, that keeps me going. Like, I'll knit longer in order to see the end of that repeat, and then I want to do another repeat. And so it's like, it's addictive in a way that stocking knit isn't as addictive. Like, I can set the stocking knit down, I'm not freaking out over it.
I get that.
And self-striping yarn, like Noro is like that. I think that's why it's so addictive, is you want to see the next color, so you keep going. And so it's like a balance between having the time to knit something with a chart, but when I knit it, I want to keep, like,
when I did that lace project at Christmas time with that I forget what it was called, but it was the one with the heart on it, and I did it with the pink.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like, I flew through it, and I pushed myself because I was off for Christmas break, but I'm like, here you have this time to sit down with this chart, and if you can get that chart done, then the rest of it is garter stitch and or stockinette stitch, and you'll fly through it. Yeah. And so I got that done in, like, record time.
Yeah. And also I just love to see it unfold. And that's part of why, like, I realized
Maybe I'll do another one of those. I sold that one to my tax lady. She offered me $100 for it. I took it.
I think that's so fantastic.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Was that the Yarn Love yarn?
Or no, that was
the
Peacock.
Right, which was like a major yarn investment.
It was like 800, it was $40 some, and it was 800 yards of lace weight. And so I have enough left over, I believe, to do another one, especially with that pattern, because it called, like, you do the lace part first, and then you do stockinette. So if I ran out of yarn, I think I would be okay to just bind off. Yeah.
And we'll link to the episode in which we talk about that pattern in more detail in the show notes.
And I think it's in, maybe I can probably link to my project page, because I think I took pictures of it and all that.
For sure. So my other work in progress that I'm actually working on is a blue sand cardigan. You finished yours so long ago, but so I couldn't take it with me, so that was like 3 weeks of not working on it. And then when my friends came into town to visit, I got no knitting done then either, because they have a 14-month-old, and, like, any free hand time I had was spent, like, snuggling and hugging or chasing.
Yes.
So I got one whole sleeve. So this has just been done in the last week, the sleeve, which gives me hope that I'll finish this non-sleeve before the next episode.
Now, is it full sleeves or 3/4 length?
It's going to be full sleeves. I changed into garter stitch way too soon. I was, it was at night, and we were, like, binging on Netflix, and I changed because I was excited to, like, end it, and I thought, like, oh wait, I'm pretty sure that's where the sleeve is gonna, but I was gonna do a big garter cuff anyhow. Now it's just gonna be really big. Like, the garter part is gonna be a huge portion of.
Oh, that's not going to be as bad as I thought it would be. I thought it would be like...
I have short little arms, so I don't really have that much longer to go. I want it to go, like, to here. But yeah, and you see there's a big garter part down there.
So yeah, that'll be fine.
And I switched this around, so in the pattern...
I love it.
The pink...
What yarn
goes here.
Is this Malintosh again?
No, so this is Plucky, and this is Plucky Primo, the gray, and this is Plucky Feet, the pink, which is not... It's what I knit my mom's Isabel out of. And then this is the Malintosh that I'm using on my boxy. Malintosh DK. So I don't want to cover up my mic, but I love it so much. But you see how the stripes match up, like the dark gray. In the pattern, you put the color block here, and then you put the light stripe here. But I thought that doesn't make sense. I'd rather have it line up and then have a bigger pink block over my elbow. And
I like that.
Because this is bigger, you know, than all the other stripes are, so that it totally covers your elbow.
And it looks good because it even though this is the same, it almost looks like the stripes are just getting thicker as they go down.
Exactly, which actually they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these two are the same, but then the pink is big and then the gray will be even bigger. And that's how long it is. My little pocket. You can see how cute. So I'm going to have the whole finished thing to try on and show you the next episode.
Awesome.
Yes, and we have real plans for the next episode to be in 2 weeks. So I have to get it done. And I love it so much. I wish it's like 70 some degrees. So I don't know when I'm going to wear it, but
yeah.
Well, I'm going to Seattle for the wedding, and so I have hopes that it will be chilly. Like, it's chilly in Seattle a lot. At the very least, I'll be able to wear it on the plane, because I always wear a cardigan on the plane.
Yay!
I'm excited. So, you've actually finished, or do you have another work in progress?
I have a finished object.
Yay.
It is...
Oh, it's so cute! It's so cute!
It's the baby, Tiny Empress. It's a set is what the pattern is.
It's adorable.
And do you see the little cables all around there? And it's a little hat. There's the decreases on the top.
I love
and
it.
The set has mittens, like scratch mitts for infants. Yeah, it ain't looking good that's gonna happen. I have not.
Is the baby due soon, or is it a baby that's been born?
It is for someone my husband works with.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, I don't know what made him do this. I don't know he says he asked me, but I don't remember. He said he asked me to make mittens, a hat, and socks. I said, no, I would not have told you I would have made baby socks. I was like, I'm not in the... don't get me started on socks. For some reason, I'm not in the mood for socks. I've got my husband's socks. Like, one's totally finished. The other one's 3/4 the way finished. All it needs is a toe. But the toe for his toe on the first one, he's got these, long monkey feet. And so I like...
Oh, yeah, we talked about that in a past episode.
So he broke his other foot, and I think that's the foot that I'm working on. So it's going to be all like, and I just need to sit down and work on him while he's sitting there.
When did he break his foot?
Do you not remember that? That was last year. I think we knew you then.
Oh, no. Okay, so it's not, he doesn't have a broken foot now.
No, but
okay.
it like made his toes do the Spock thing. He hates it. But yeah, his toes are like
so the toe box needs to be like wide and long.
Yeah, and so I like custom made them to his toes. I would like knit it and have him try it on and say, okay, I need to decrease more on this side than not this side, because it really didn't make sense where his big toe come up and then it comes over and you've got, so it didn't make sense to me to do a toe that looks like this when his foot looks like this. And so I just was like, that's what for whatever reason, I made it hard on myself. And that's what I did when I finished his first sock, is I just had him try it on and knit it to fit his foot. So I've got to do that now.
I say just put a toe on it.
No, you know me. I'm so picky. I won't do that. So I've got to work on that. And so socks are not on my radar. I don't want to do any socks at all.
So no baby socks.
No baby socks. And so I need to do the mitts. But I'm thinking, I'm just not in the mood for it. I don't like this yarn. I dyed the yarn myself. I don't like the color. For whatever reason, it's baby pink. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's even got that, I like a hand-dyed look to it, where it's almost not really modeled, but it's tonal. Yeah. And so I like that look to it. So there's nothing wrong with this yarn. It's just me. I don't know why, but I don't like it. And so yeah, I'm kind of, I'm not motivated. I don't want to do it.
Do you have another finished project?
I think I'm just going to go buy her some socks and mitts that match, and then she'll have a little hat. So there you go.
Yes.
I want to show my bag. I made a bag.
It is amazing.
This is going to be my Rhinebeck tote.
I feel like we should have like a drum roll for this bag. It's amazing.
And
look
so,
how
yeah,
big.
I wanted a big tote bag. I don't own any tote bags at all whatsoever. So I needed something that I could maybe take to the beach. There's a pocket there. Take to the beach, and I posted on Instagram the pattern. I don't remember exactly
what. We'll link to it.
Yeah, we'll link to it. But I bought the pattern, and the only thing, you know how picky I am, guys, the only thing that I had to criticize about this is I wish I had made the straps just a little bit shorter, but really they're not bad at all. I mean, really.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, you want it to hang so you...
Yeah, if it really should have hung about right here. And so, but I mean, really, what's a couple inches?
But I told her that's just her size.
But it has, it has ties on the ends, and I put this stiff iron-on stabilizer on the outside, and then on the sides I did fusible fleece so that when it tied up it would be easier.
Which is so smart.
On the inside I messed up for some reason. I made this a little bit bigger than what the pattern called for, and for some reason we didn't get enough of the lining fabric, so I had to improvise and add this on the sides.
Which, by the way, it looks intentional.
Yeah, it looks intentional, and I did like about 3.5 inches or something, 3 3/4 I think, on the inside. And then what I did was I boxed it more down here than what the original pattern called for. So the inside, it's, I don't know if you can really see down in there, you probably not, but inside it's boxed right there where this fabric met. And so I boxed the lining first and then measured and boxed the outside the same as the lining.
Way above my head.
And so this is the back side, and this was panels. This fabric was panels, and I bought 2 of the panels, and then this was coordinating that came with it, and so this was coordinating too. Let me just tell y'all, I spent an ungodly amount of money on fabric on this, and so I've got, the panels came with this piece at the top and the bottom, and so I had 4 of these, and I took 2 of them and made the pocket on the inside and the pocket on the outside. So I've got 2 of these left, and I think what I'm going to do is fold them in half and make me a couple little bags. Like this one, I think I'm going to box the bottom a little bit, but the other one, the other piece, it's cut off. It didn't have this white, so I think I'm just going to make a flat little zipper bag, and I've got enough of that stripy fabric to line it with. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I thought about selling one of them, maybe get some money back from the fabric, but I don't know. I may have to keep them and just stash them down in the big bag or something. But
it would be cool to have the coordinating little bags.
I know, it would be cool. So yeah, I thought that I've been carrying a tiny little purse here lately, and not even carrying my bigger purse. But I thought I'm gonna need a bag to go to Rhinebeck, and we're getting ready to go to the beach. And I thought I might just
smart bag. So pretty.
Yeah. And my justification was, well, if you bought something from 31, you would probably pay almost that much.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be, maybe not.
No.
Okay, well, it's beautiful. And it'll last you forever.
It'll last me forever, and I could say I made it, and it's pretty, and it's loud. I like it, though. I like it.
So that's everything we're working on, and all of our finished projects and all the yarn
I believe so. I've got some other stuff in the works, but I've not really touched it, so.
Yeah. So we wanted to share some cool stuff we found online and announce the last winner of the winter sweater knit along, because the winter is now officially over. And so the thing that I found was, and I'm sad I didn't write down the full name, but it's fixstitchesyarn.com, yarns.com, yeah, fixstitchesyarns.com, and the fic is F-I-C because it's fiction. So it's a yarn club that one of my Starship captains started with 2 business partners that is going to be hand-dyed yarn, crochet pattern, because most yarn clubs have knit patterns, and a new piece of short fiction with each pattern. So a story to read. So it's an author and a knitwear designer and a yarn maker.
Wow,
who are all
that's awesome. Together.
And they had these hand-turned crochet hooks, and they've already sold out of that level of club. So they're going really, really fast. When I put this in our show notes 2 weeks ago, they were just starting, and now they've already sold out of the thing. So go to fixstitchesyarns.com. It's super cool. It's just a cool idea. So if you crochet and you think there's not any yarn clubs for crochet, that's part of the problem they're solving with this, is that so many yarn things come with a knitting pattern, but not a crochet pattern. So it's Crochet Club. It's super cool. And then you had a YouTube channel.
Yes. Go check out, and I meant to get her name, and I'm so bad I didn't get her name. She was formerly Nouveau Fiber Arts, and she has had a baby, and I think she's going to still do some stuff, but I think she's going into teaching more. I haven't taken the time. I've been so bad to be online lately. I just haven't. But she had this thing, and she did it live, and I've missed it. I forgot about it. but she did a gratitude yarn spin along. And so she shows you how to spin yarn. And so I haven't been able to check it all out yet, but I'm so excited. It was like 2 hours long. It looks like it's going to be so awesome. If you follow her on Facebook, because this is where I've been finding out about this. But yeah, Ashley is her name.
We'll link to it so that they can find her on Facebook.
Yeah, I will link. I didn't think to link to but her YouTube channel is How to Spin Yarn. So go check her out because she's amazing.
That's a great YouTube channel name. Very direct and to the point. The other spinning videos I really love on YouTube are by Grace Shalom Hopkins. She does, so she did the book Roving, and then her new book came out. It's just called Bat, and it's like all these different ways to spin with a bat to like change the texture, to maintain the color repeat.
Oh, that's amazing.
And her videos are beautiful. She does these videos that are like showing you like how she's like pulling apart the bat to spin a different kind of yarn with it. And then her book like goes into deep details, and she interviews a fiber artist, and it's very cool. So we'll link to that too. But yay, YouTube for spinning.
Yeah. I need to get into spinning more. I love the idea of it, and I enjoy it when I sit down to do it. I just need to make a point of sitting down more often.
Yeah, I think we talk about that almost every episode.
Yeah, and I want to get into. I'm so intrigued by the Turkish spindles. Oh. I mean, part of me's like, why would you do that when you can do it faster with the wheel? But I like the idea of taking a luxury yarn or the poonies. I think we've said this before. That I almost feel like it's a rule that you have to spin poonies on a spindle because they're special and, and extravagant. And that's what I feel like spindle spinning should be, is extravagant. It should be a treat. It should be like, just something extra special that you wouldn't do with just any old.
Because you're spending so much more time with it.
You're spending so much more time with it, and so you want to draw out that amazing yarn and
the awesome experience. Yeah. So our last prize for the winter sweater knit along, which is officially over as of like Easter. But you guys have shared some awesome sweaters with us.
And I'm so sorry. Thank you for sharing, and I'm so sorry I have been missing in action online. I will do my best to remedy that because I miss being on there and chatting with people.
It was just a busy season.
It has been.
There's seasons for busyness and seasons for like having more time to spend online.
Yeah.
We should figure out if we want to do another knit along, like with our maybe fingering weight sweater knit along for the spring.
There you go.
But so the winner, we did the random.org to generate a random number, and we counted up all the pictures that you had shared, and the winner is Jess of Storied Yarns. Hi, Jess. She lives not far from us in Lebanon, and you won a copy of Brioche Chic by Mercedes Clark. Yay! And actually, I hope to see Jess at Stitches South. It's this weekend, and this will be uploaded by then. So if you're going to be at Stitches South, can you go to our Ravelry group and tell us? That's the best way to make sure we see it. I'll start a thread on Ravelry. Tell me that you're going to be there, and we can meet up and hug or share a coffee or just look at yarn together. But yay, Jess will we'll be meeting up there, and I will give you your copy of Brioche Chic. And if you're going to be at Stitches South, tell us, and
we'll have to do a thing where you share your purchases.
Yes,
Let me shop vicariously through you.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and if you have thoughts about knitting continental or English, since we got like kind of deep into that, share that. We would love to hear. We will link on the show notes. I'm going to look up videos for how to do each. So if you couldn't see our fingers, we were not really demonstrating it very clearly.
Yeah, and if you would really like for us to do that, we can kind of maybe sit with the camera, pointed from this view so that you can kind of see down
what our hands are actually doing.
Because I always, I think I could never figure out how Steph of Mustache Yarns, she would flick this finger, and I'm like, what is she doing? I want to know. I can't see. And
so we had talked about that, doing more tutorial videos. So if there's something that we talk about or you're interested in that you're not finding elsewhere, let us know, and we'll either shoot it or we will link you to a video if there's already a good video for it. So thank you so much for listening and for being here with us.
Joining us and being patient while we
deal with stuff. So we'll be back in 2 weeks.
We'll be back.
And you can find links to everything we talked about at handmadepodcast.com, and you can subscribe on iTunes or YouTube, and come join our Ravelry group and talk to us there. Share your projects and your continental English knitting stuff. Thanks so much.